So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our viewers around the globe, and welcome to another series of intimate conversations with your host, Mandy Horton. And if you feel compelled to push on that subscribe button, very much appreciated. Join the tribe. So, today's guest on Intimate Conversation is beautiful Lynda Northcott. Welcome, Lynda.
Thank you very much, Mandy. It's exciting to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited about this chat. I always get excited about the chats though, but we've just realised that we're actually from the same Maori tribe. So that's really awesome. That's
Yeah,
really,
I
really
didn't expect
awesome.
that. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Lynda, I'll just introduce you to everyone and read your bio here. For those of you, or anyone who doesn't know of you at this point in time. So, Lynda is one of the many light workers that are here in what Lynda believes to be a very unique and exciting time for humanity, fully in service to expand consciousness in others, leading from the heart and the essence of love. Just need to raise that up a bit. Born in Taranaki, New Zealand, of Maori, Irish, and Scandinavian descent, Lynda is strongly connected to the land and nature and the contribution that we are as conduits between heaven and earth. Lynda was a registered nurse for many years. After a tumultuous time living in Auckland whilst a charge nurse at one of the country's biggest hospitals, Lynda returned to New Plymouth, and while recovering from near burnout and emotional collapse, she studied massage therapy, which then led to becoming a Reiki practitioner and many learnings about the energetic aspect of human health. Now a Reiki master, Lynda teaches others this beautiful modality and holds classes expanding people's expectations of themselves as energetic and multidimensional beings. Beautiful. Reiki's a really great way to connect, eh? You
Oh,
know,
it is. Yeah,
such a great way.
amazing.
Yeah. Lynda, one of the first questions, and questions just come up for me as we get into the chat, but one of the first things to start it off is I often ask, were you a consciously aware child? Like, did you know what you were doing here? Was all of that sort of there when you were a child, or did you grow into it as such
Not that I'm
and
a,
learn more about yourself in that way?
yeah, not that I'm aware of, which is good. That's sort of ironic, isn't it? Were you aware? Not that I was aware of. So no, I don't think so. I was very sensitive as a
Yeah.
child, very emotionally. Oh, I suppose a lot are, but yeah, sensitive of those around me and emotions and energies, and very very soft-hearted, very so easily hurt, easily sort of shut down, and still optimistic. I was still a yeah, sort of no one would have ever known, but very unsure of myself, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely not coming from a place of power at all when I was little.
Yeah. Did like in the sense of your spirit, say your spiritual pathway that you ended up on, how did you get there? Like, what was your big awakenings or rememberings that brought you more into that journey for yourself?
Yeah, well, I suppose when I was nursing, I didn't actually do nursing as a lifelong aspiration. It's just that's all that they trained in Taranaki, and I was a young mum then, and so I wanted to be qualified, and so that's what I did. But I loved it. I loved it. So I
Yeah.
loved. I could always. People were my thing, but if you went to a careers advisor at high school way back then and said, well, it's people. People are my thing. They didn't actually give you any options.
Yeah.
They looked at you as if you were weird. Um, so when I was a charge nurse during doctors' rounds, and we had professors and everything, so they were big teams, and so I always used to, which is quite daunting for people, when there's all this masses of little white suits roll into the room, and I always used to have my hands on their feet, and I'd always tend to be, yeah, and people used to say even when I first started that I could walk into a six-bedded room and it would just the it just gets calmer, so I
Ah,
guess my greatest tool is my energy, you could say.
yeah.
But I still didn't. was when I left Auckland and I studied massage therapy, and then we looked at all the different modalities, and also one of the queer that we had is a beautiful teacher was also, well, they were both very energetic, but she did rongoa, spiritual healing, and so she'd feed back about, and you sort of start thinking, oh, yeah, maybe I am a little bit special.
Yeah.
And then and that's when I did the Reiki, and that's when I started actually feeling energy, and really I'd done lots of mind work right back in my early 20s. I read John Keoe and came across Seth Speaks, which was one of the first channel books, I think, way back when.
Yeah.
And so I'd already expanded my consciousness, but didn't actually really, I don't think I tapped in that I had any spiritual gifts then. I was just,
Right.
learning about energetics, but not that I could feel it or heal people or take away pain or anything like that.
Right. Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. And so the Reiki, did the Reiki sort of do the thing? Did it connect you in? Like, was that the thing?
I'm just kind of just asking my team. Yeah, I do believe it. Sorry, I was holding a stone. I just dropped it. I'll put it down. Yes, I do believe it did.
Yeah.
It definitely. It wasn't instant. Like I didn't suddenly start feeling energy. But it was definitely. Yeah, I do believe it did
Mm,
open me up, open my channels, open up my everything. Yeah.
yeah. And when you were in the hospital, say, nursing, and you were putting your hands on feet, what did you feel you were doing then? Like, what
Just
were you?
compassion, I think.
Oh
Compassion
yeah.
and um I guess subconsciously I know that, or even consciously, I know that that was helping them. That was serving
Right.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And so you work like you've got people, you work one on one with people,
Yes, I do. Yeah,
you've
I have
got
a
clients
clinic
coming in.
here.
Yeah.
Built a little whare in the bush about 10 years ago, I suppose. Which is gorgeous bush setting, and it has everything there, water and so I work out of there, and I also do a lot of remote work. I do a lot of clearing. I do a lot of mainly clearings for people remotely, but I can do healings and whatnot as well.
Yeah.
And I teach. So I do that. I hire rooms looking over the Tasman Sea to do that. And I have done retreats, and I do a lot of sound healing and whatnot as well. So, and I create energetic spirals and bits and pieces. And I do run workshops sometimes. I haven't for a little while. And I often run online courses too. The last few years I've run online courses, but I'm actually having a wee break from that at the minute while I do some more study, and just to devote myself to that.
Yeah. There's a change, eh? Like we're in this massive change, like, crazy change. It's very exciting. Like I'm right in there. That, I think like I knew as a kid when I was born in that and my mum sat up with my head out, and she watched me birth myself by the time they got around to the hospital. But I was just gung ho right from day one. It's like, yeah, we're here, let's get on, and then the slope of, oh my God, not everyone's where I can see, where we're heading. And it's like, then I realized, oh my goodness, the massive shift that needed to happen to bring it to where I knew we were going. But oh my goodness, anyway, all of that. But this time now, how do you feel like energetically it's really sort of moving? You know what I mean? Like what are the things that you've noticed change within yourself, within your body even, but with your whole even direction, because new purposes are coming into play as well. And have you found that I know I'm bringing in probably 20 questions in one go here, but have you found the letting go of what you were already in and doing, if that's happening? Have you found that to be okay? Like, are you surrendered to that, or are you finding it difficult to move into anything new, do you think?
The energies I'm so excited about the energies at the moment, to be fair, Mandy. It's there's I can. I know this month and next month are going to be absolutely epic. The opportunities and the energy that's coming through, the light code, the I'm getting clients now that it's so new for them, but they know that this is what they require, or they've had this nudge, and there's such an awakening by everyone around us.
Yeah.
And those that are willing to acknowledge that and have, I was going to say, done the work, but we're really getting the finally finally getting the payback for that. I know a lot of people that's suddenly taking off, they're suddenly boom, 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 boom. Last year was a real year of integration for me. Like, a bit like the caterpillar goo,
Yeah.
and and although I've still allowed myself space for that this year, I've yeah, it's really coming together. It's and I can see that around me as well. So I'm finding it at the minute, dare I say it, quite easy. I'm really excited
I
that
know.
everything's coming together. I know, yeah, yeah, there's bound to be other challenges that are going to come up. And I like to think now I've got the skills that I don't shy away from those.
Yeah.
I'm now allowing my feelings to come up to the surface, and I've got a softness in me now that didn't used to be there.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah. So now I'm wrapped together.
beautiful way. And it's like I kept getting towards the end of 2024 that it was clean up time. It's clean up. And I kept getting clean up and grow up. And it was like, what part of me needs to grow up? And it was that rebel, the rebel. She really needed to grow up and stop being so defensive and ready to, balk the system in whatever way I could. And just settle down a bit and that it was okay now. There wasn't so much risk as such. And we've come through into a more stable place within ourselves, which is, now we're really creating our own way, and that is what I love. I just love that, and that softness you talk about. It's just it's a beautiful thing, and I know for me throughout my journey with um, lots of physical abuse, and definitely the verbal comes into that as well, psychological, mental, whatever we want to put on it, but a lot of that. So I was always defensive. I was always looking, back on the wall, making sure I could see everything and being aware of what was around me. And that softness now for me is knowing that I don't have to be like that anymore. That part of my whole life is gone. And I just came through this real aha moment the other night. Um, that it was safe now for me to be feminine, safe now for me to actually be a woman here on the planet. And that was huge. That was really massively huge. And the beauty in the feminine, and this rising that's coming in. And this is when I look around me, the same thing. I'm seeing everybody now just really stepping out, stepping up, stepping out. It's like we're all got this massive green light, those who were prepared, and there's just this massive green light, and it's really exciting to know after all the many years, 45 years I was bashing head against brick wall. It's like, oh my God, does nobody get this, and having to really be patient, which wasn't my best, was really difficult for me to be patient. It's like, oh, I just wanted to shake everything and go, will you get this? Hurry up. But now it's like, yay, I feel like we want to high five everyone and go, we've done it, we've done it, and our best lives are now coming into play. And I just love that.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And I resonate so much with that patience piece. Um, and I recognize the warrior angel. And I definitely have a bit of that. Archangel Michael was definitely my man back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
And and the beauty of having, feeling safe to soften into that femininity.
Yeah,
And know that, there's so much strength in that too. Yeah,
definitely.
beautiful.
What would you say your, what do I want to ask in there? What would you say is the theme that you're seeing now with people? maybe coming through into more of their awakening, or like when I come into the center each month that I run, like people put a spiritual church banner on. It's never been what I've called it, but it's sort of like that. And when I stand up to go into that day, there's always a theme that's been running through the month, and I'll bring that in. But at the moment, there's so many different themes. Hey, are you noticing that? Like there used to be sort of one flavor that was sort of happening in a big way, but now it's like there's so many different themes that are going on all at once.
Yeah, I've been the new babies that are coming to me, no babies, they a lot of the time they come in because they just awareness, increased awareness, but they're suddenly aware of all the entities and attachments that they've got. Because that's so they're often coming because of that, because that's one of my main things is the clearings, especially initially. So that's sort of bringing them in the door, but it's because of that heightened sensitivity that they're suddenly realizing that, hello, I'm off energetically, or I'm acting out and that's not me, or I'm feeling really my biggest excitement at the minute that I would share, well, there's a couple.
Yeah.
One would be of I've known forever, or not ever, I'll make me think that water, the absolute transformational magic of water.
Yeah.
And way back to the gentleman that did the frozen crystals, and then we've got Vita Austin here,
Yeah.
in New Zealand. But what I've only just started doing, which is ironic because you think these things are just right in your face. And I have had childhood eczema since dot, and it still flares up quite gnarly. And I try all these different things. And a lot of that, although I'm stopping that story, a lot of that is I used to say, oh, I'm just so sensitive. I'm just so sensitive. I'm sensitive to energy. I'm sensitive to food, additives, colors. I'm not going to say that anymore. But I have been intentionally putting healing codes into my water.
Yeah.
Just the last few days. And it's I also you'd be familiar with the Sophia codes. The book,
Yes.
Sophia codes.
Yeah.
So I've read that ages ago, and I listened to it ages ago, and then I've just been doing it more actively. So really actively in front of my altar, doing the whole activation thing. And I'd already decided it came through to do this healing, this intention setting into my water every day. And then I just did Kuan Yin, and that's all about that. She of 1,000 waters. It's all about that, and all these things just line up, and it's the inflammation is leaving my body purely. All these other things,
Yeah.
but purely simply by having good water. But yeah, putting that loving intent in that water. Boom. Oh,
Yeah. Amazing, eh?
yeah.
Absolutely. I was just talking about this the other day actually with somebody. Water's always been an important part for me as well, like the all. It's really the all. But water, there's definitely a lot in it. And what I was living on a property that was a huge big mansion and gorgeous place, and it had all the fruit trees you could think of, chocos, the old chocos, and all sorts. And it was gorgeous, but one of the things was that the guy that built it didn't complete a lot of the stuff that, some of the walls still weren't completed properly and things finishing off, the bits finishing. And one of the things was the water. So there was a tank and we had water to the house. But when you ran a bath, there was a big, deep, old clawfoot bath. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. My favorite thing to do. And when you ran this bath, out of the water tank would come all the leaves and twigs, and you'd get all these random things floating around your bath, and there would be a bit of sediment in the bottom of your bath, a little wee bit, but not much. But my oldest daughter, she's a germphobe, and she just would not drink the water. If ever she came, she'd bring her bottle of water, and she just wouldn't go anywhere near that. But what I did, and when we cleaned it out, honestly, got a guy in to help me clean it out one day, and there was a dead possum in there. There was all this, like the sediment on the bottom of this tank was just hideous. And I was like, oh my goodness. But do you know what? I had blessed that tank every day for months when I first moved in. And I just got to a point where I knew I didn't have to do that anymore. It was already done. No matter what water entered that, it was going to purify and come through. We never once got sick from that tank. Lived there for 10 years and then moved on. And the guy that bought the property, his wife got Giardia the moment they got into that property, and she ended up really, really sick in hospital. And I just know this is the power we have in respect to prayer, blessings, intention into things. But programming that water was the best thing I ever did. So, because yeah, we were well, So yeah, and it's beautiful what Vita's doing at the moment. Like she's taken it to a different level too that Emoto did, and it's really beautiful to see that coming in. It's really, really cool. But
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
dying to get some petri dishes.
yeah, me too. I
I
tried.
want to do my own. I wanna do my own.
Thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
gorgeous.
no, it's
And yeah,
really
I'm a
beautiful.
bather. I love my bath. I'd never live in a house without a bath. Who would
I,
understand that? I go, oh no, 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 no. And if I need to, especially if I'm feeling yeah, a bit sticky, I'll have a bath during the day.
yeah,
And I'm energetically sticky. I'll yeah, any
I
time.
know submerging, and going in like I used to go right in under the water and meditate. I know I'd have to come up, but I'd go in and I'd always get, the communication through was very clear. It's a good, conduit,
Yeah,
for that.
yeah.
No, it's really cool. So yeah, exciting things are happening, and the smallest of intentions in anything now is so powerful. And when you're saying about sitting, intentionally doing like at your altar and that, I've never been a ritual girl. And one of the things with setting up a lot of group and a lot of, particularly the monthly gathering, that's tone, the church type thing. Um, what I got told straight away with moving into that, being shown and prompted, really, come on, it's, and I've been running these differently for years, but one of the first things that came in was not to have a ritual, not to make it a ritual, not to open with a ritual and be ritualistic about anything, and change it up and create it where what I'm doing up the front anyone else can do. I'm not special because I'm standing up the front, taking all that away. And it's been a beautiful journey actually, but I have had some people come in, particularly the guests that I get, who have been really, because I don't have an altar, I don't stand, we don't sort of have the hierarchy table, I call it, up the front, and and everyone else sitting out there and you're viewing. I don't do that. I never have. We sit in the audience. The guest sits in the audience, and when that person gets up, I sit in the audience. You know, we're all the same. And I've had some that come in as guests, and they just can't cope with that. They want to be special. They want to have the hierarchy table up the front, and all of that, which is all fine, but that's not how we do it. So they haven't come back again. But all good. That's all good. But the ritual thing, like doing something now and putting that intention towards your body or your journey or your life or whatever, is absolutely the best time to start doing that. If anyone doesn't, I mean, honestly, it really is, because it's so powerful at the moment.
Yeah, and I haven't ever been very good at journaling daily.
Yeah.
I've set that intention, I don't know how many times, and it doesn't happen. But I can sit even for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Um, and this is sort of where yeah, if I'm doing, I had a friend's sister lose two babies the other day, unborn babies, and so I did a like an offering, but just not in, yeah, like I didn't actually. I lit two candles for them, and I called in Mother Mary and all this, and I just sat there and sent out this love, and I've never had it that intense. And I think it is because this is starting to be a real beautiful portal
Yes.
for that, and so it's that, and because it's in the same space, or I don't do it at the same time every day, I'm not really good on yeah, that sort of rigidity.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's really serving me in that regard. I love it.
Mm. And I think, when you say a really powerful portal, that is you. That house is an extension of this house, and that portal there will be from your heart, like, actually.
Yeah.
It's
And in that space, I feel so supported and safe that I can even open,
yes,
more
exactly
so.
that. Yeah. And that there, I think, is what I'm seeing. If we look at a theme, that's the theme I'm seeing, is people's hearts opening more, and there's more gratitude, and there's more love, and there's more nurture, and there's more kindness. And it's not that it wasn't there, because it certainly was, and I saw it a lot in my life, over my life. Even with all the shit bits that were going on around it, there was still that beautiful heart of humanity that was always very present. And I grew up in a very present, beautiful, heartfelt family. So for me, it was important that I continue, not lose that. How much of it was, covered and barricaded up, yes, but it was about moving more into that. And that's what I've found. I've found that there is opening more and more and more, and that it's bringing more of the same back, magnetizing more of that same thing. And we are powerful portals. We always have been, but man, are we coming now? Like, actually. Yeah, it's
And
great.
I love that you brought in the heart space because for me yeah, that's massive. It's leading from the heart. And if you've anyone that's looked into the what is it, the heart school, whatever it's called, but they go into the cohesion of the heart and how the heart has more intuition than our third eye,
Yeah.
and that it's got more of a auric field than any other part of our body, and the intuition and the this is our thinking mind is actually our heart, and the portals, like speaking of portals, I know we have the universe in every cell, but when I delve into that heart space sometimes, that's
Yeah,
yeah,
massive, massive. And
yeah.
I love that, I mean, I feel we are feeling freer. When I moved through worrying about what other people thought of me, that was my biggest freedom step, man. That was huge. It was like, nah, don't worry about it. I'm not worrying about it. Don't even put your nose in my business. None of your business. I just didn't care. I wasn't, I'd come to a point where it was like, I'm not holding myself back because of anyone else's opinion or thoughts or projection or any of that. It was like, that's done for me now. And that was my biggest freedom. And from there, it's just sort of moved more and more and more. But now this heart, the heart opening to where it is right now is just, I feel so free. I've never felt so free. And I don't think any lifetime, maybe other lifetimes, I can't recall, but it's a beautiful feeling. And it makes me really emotional when I look at that and know that that's happening out there. More and more people are feeling that freedom, and are okay now to actually stand in that heart vortex and allow ourselves to be seen, heard, felt, all of that. Mm.
May I ask how because I have never, well, I don't think I've been overly worried what anyone thinks, which is really lucky. And I see how it's very crippling. Can you share what you did for that to release that hold?
Break me from that. It's a cellular memory. Because every which is what I trained in. So I'm that as a practitioner. But what I always knew was that there was something innate within us that created those things. So when I realized having bashings and rapes and all the physical abuse that I had, it was that realization that I actually created all that. That was mental. That for me was like insane. Why would you even want to do that? Well, we don't want to, but because, and then it was like, okay, so why am I creating that? What's making that happen in my life? What is it that brings more of the same? And then I realized it was all frequency, and the frequency was the emotional. The emotion had that frequency that was just strong to attract more of the same. And once I got all that, then it was easy. I just wanted to release more and more and more and bring my frequency into a different place. But you know, I broke bones. I have broken 17 bones over in my lifetime. And why I did that, when I went in to find out why I actually broke so many bones, again coming back to myself because it's me, um, it was because when I broke a bone, my bullies left me alone. So it was my secondary gain. So I gained peace and quiet and you know, just being able to sit and rest. And that was my way of having some peace and quiet in my life, which again was insane. It was like, what the heck? And then when I
It is.
realized,
Yeah, you can see the rationale behind that, even
yeah,
though.
totally blew me away though when I realized that was the reason. But what came from that too was realizing that if I have the power, the actual power within me to break my own body, then I surely have the power within me to heal and repair what I've broken. And that there started a whole another big trip, man. It was, and that's where all my life, because when I looked at what am I here to do, I do so many different things, and I like you, I do a lot of clearing work and entity clearing and all the stuff, healing work, you know, all the things, lots. But one of the things that I have been really passionate about, and what I was asking was, what is my actual purpose? Like, what do I hone in on? Do I hone in on anything in here, or is there something completely different? Um, and Spirit said to me very clearly, very loud in my ear, look into your anger. And I thought, oh, my anger. And so I looked into my anger and I thought, what is it makes me angry? And the one, oh man, it was like a fire in me. It was like, oh. And I got it instantly. And that was when I see and know that people I love are putting pharmaceutical drugs in their body. It just was like actual, and it's, you know, none of my business, you know. It's all that you got to learn to just step away and all the things. But that was something that really fired me up. And I knew in that moment that what I'm majorly passionate about is teaching how to heal the body without medication, drugs, you know, all the things, surgery even. I mean, I've just needed to replace hip and knee replacements, both knees, both hips, bone on bone. And I'm using the light activation patches, which are now stopped all of that. I don't need hip replacements. I don't need knee replacement. It's just activated the light within my body to heal it. And it's just incredible. So that's been my path. I love it. I love that. Love it, love it. So yeah, there's different things, eh? What was your passion like? What would you say if I said to you, what was your anger? You know, if we look at it in that way, what would be yours? What do you reckon?
Oh, funny, anger. Anger is one thing that I used to really struggle at expressing. I remember going to a retreat once, and this whole thing was bringing out anger, and they were really trying to piss you off and get you, you to
Yeah,
scream
to
things
break
and hit
out.
cushions and yell, and I just couldn't grasp that emotion. And I think my father was always a very angry man, very very angry man, very quick to yell and not actually, never physically hurt us in any way, but munted us emotionally. Um, yeah, not that I've got over that. I've got over our daddy issues, but that was definitely a part of my total lack of self-love, self-esteem, self-worth, massively. Left home as soon as I could, but it's probably took me till I was about probably over 50 before I really, really um, um, helped with all that. And so anger, yeah, anger. So I used to, yeah, and I was really good at dealing with angry people then, you know, because I'd done it all once. So it's okay. I wasn't avoiding it in that extent,
Yeah,
it wasn't something that I could come through with easily. And I have got better at that because I've got better. I suppose I didn't allow any of my emotions to fully come up to
yeah,
fully give myself away to anyone emotionally, to hated crying in front of people, and yet I can cry on a, you know,
drop of the
bad
hat.
ad.
Yeah,
um, And I've yeah, it's been slow, but now I can actually express and I can tap into that, but it took a very, very, very long time. So
Mm.
what really irks me the most? Truth, I think. People that aren't entirely truthful. Yeah, I definitely actually no, I got more hurt over the whole COVID debacle than angry as such, but some of that makes me angry. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, there is definitely yeah, stuff there, but we don't need to go into that. I tend to keep that away from my
Yeah.
podcast and things. Um, so yeah, I think yeah, probably yeah, probably honesty. Yep, would be a
Yeah.
biggie for me.
Mm.
Mm,
Yeah, and there was so much deception around that 4 or 5 years, wasn't there? It was just hideous, and yeah, I think it narked a lot of us really, or tweaked a lot of us really. It was horrible to
yeah, that's where
witness
the
all
old
that.
warrior angels came to the fore.
Holy moly, yeah. And it was really like for me, I really did have to. Um, like I suppressed my anger a lot over my life as well, and I had a lot of eczema and dermatitis because of it. It was all like coming
Angry,
out of my
angry.
skin. Yeah, yeah. It's getting under your skin. Oh, I can tell you. And it was horrible. But once I learned that it was healthy also to have anger because it was also an activation. It activated us into action sometimes. And so I was trying to get rid of all my anger, like everything. And Spirit said to me one day, "You won't. It's also a good tool. It's a great thing to have because it'll motivate you into action. So
And
when
that
we get
righteous
annoyed
anger.
enough about something, we go and change it, don't we? We do something about it. So it does activate that. So once I got that, I settled down a bit on what was still left in me. But then it was about actually controlling it to a point where when I was seeing things around me like the COVID era, I just wanted to go out and annihilate. And that there was my definite old warrior person coming in, going, oh my God, let's just go and annihilate everyone that's doing this. But when I came out of that, which I tried to get through it as quick as I could, there was so much going on, though. It was really difficult to bring yourself into any sort of balance. But when I finally did, I came back to the awareness of myself as energetic worker. I read energy, I intuit energy, I love energy and frequency. So therefore, use it in that way. You know, bring yourself back to that and work in this whole arena energetically. It was so much better. And oh my God, it was nice to be back home again as such, because that pulled me right out as it did with all of us, didn't it? It just was crazy, crazy time. Mm. And I think you know, when anyone can get the actual understanding around frequency and energy, and that, because there's still a lot of people out there, which is all good, whatever they're doing is all good. And it's not judgment, it's just observation. I always, feel like that's my thing. I do observe. But what I'm finding is that there's still a lot that are in the battle up mode, that we've got to battle this to get it to go. And when you understand energy and frequency, what you're doing is you're actually empowering it to be there. It works in totally the opposite way.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, it
yeah,
does. Yeah, it's funny, like I think I used to think, oh, I'm not that intuitive. And then I was I think I'm intuitive now, but back in the day. And it was early 2020, like I was a real binge drinking party animal. I was really good during the week.
yeah,
Most of the time. And then I was quite a binge drinking party animal. And my partner, that was our thing. That's how we got together. That's that's what we did together. That was our
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
And early 2020, I suddenly thought, no. And I'd already done other things. I was always really good in clinic. I've been doing that for over 10 years, 20 years. But, and I'd always make sure I was good days leading up to it, stuff like that. But in 2020 is when I pulled finger and I did, right, just, I've just got to walk the talk, stop the lilla, and then that's when I started my Facebook group called Energetic Bee, because it's all about energy, and it was because I was thinking, shit, people are going to need to just be cheered up. I had live carrot digs, I had all sorts of shit, just silly, lots of silly stuff as well as spiritual stuff, and yeah, that's when I started that, and then boom, that's when it hit. So that was
Yeah.
really interesting. Yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah,
cool.
energy. We are more energy. That's all. Yeah, yeah.
That's right. And I think, whenever somebody comes into a conversation in respect to that type of energy, that other energy out there, it's like I just quickly turn it around to how I see it, what I see, and how we can work in that energetic way to shift, ourself. Because when we shift ourselves, we see it in a different perspective. We have a different perspective. So yeah, it's been a very, very interesting journey for sure, right through to this moment. And I mean, it's certainly not complete. There's still so much for us to be experiencing. And that's the other thing I feel with, the time is for people maybe to have a look at, well, what have I experienced up to this moment? And if it's not really what you've wanted, then what is it you wish to experience rather than what do you want? What would you want to experience? Because if we take judgment out of it, out of our journey and our vocab or our way of being, then it comes back to experience. We're not judging it as good, bad, ugly, or whatever. It's just purely experience. And that there is where I feel the key to our growth and our learning and all of the experiencing that we have left to do. I've experienced all this stuff. Well, now I choose to experience this, and choice is important. It's important to remember it. Mm.
Yeah. I mean, that's our free will. That was the whole reason we came here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Choice in every living moment, every breath, every turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So what don't have to share too much either if you don't feel like it's time to share, but what great things have you got planned for this year or moving forward? Have you got anything sorting coming in? What are you up to? And how do people get hold of you is the other thing.
Oh, teaching Reiki on Saturday, Reiki 1, which I love. I've got a new little master coming along. So I've got someone I'm bringing through for their masters. So that's really cool. I'm doing the course I'm doing at the minute, is with a gorgeous girl called Mel Garrity, who I've never worked with before in my entire life. And I didn't even know much about Mel. And I got this massive kick up the bum when I saw her stuff late last year. And I thought, oh wow, I'm going to do that. And it's called Priestess Path. And it's going right into the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life and stuff like that, which I've only vaguely, yeah. So it's going really in depth to some pretty cool stuff. And also planetary stuff. Like,
Yeah.
did you know that Venus? So, because I love sacred geometry, I love sacred spaces. Like I love Castle Hill. I want to go all around the world looking at sacred spaces.
Yeah.
And but the planet Venus, when it goes around, how it orbits our sun, what it does, it leaves a geometrical 5-pointed flower.
I actually saw that not too long ago.
Just amazing stuff. I love that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
the universe and the sacred geometry, and just blows me away.
Yeah.
That's what. So what I'm at the minute, I'm not putting out any online programs and whatnot. I'm happy to do
Yeah.
one-on-one mentorship, but I'm not doing any groupie stuff. I'm just purely have the time. So if I want to
The-
really
Mm.
watch that, live 3 times, or draw my little tree
Yeah.
and all the things. So I'm really devoting myself into that. That finishes in August at Lionsgate, which is my favorite energetic portal of the year. So I love
Yeah.
Sirius, I love Orion's belt, all that thing, just boom, 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 boom. So something might excite me and I'll run with it. But at the minute, I'm just happily just plodding along. Yeah, heaps of clients coming through. It's really nice. I'm not pushing. It's just
Low,
yeah.
eh?
So just flowing lovely. So at the minute that yeah, I honestly I haven't looked at the end of the year. I've got wall calendar on my door here, and I've not really. No, I've got a couple of trainings logged in until June, but that's it. So we'll just watch this space.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And that's how I've been feeling. It's like there wasn't anything really pushing me to get done. It was more just be like in communication, be in communion with myself and just nature really. That's what I've been doing.
Um,
There's been such a lot of new stuff coming in that I'm now excited about putting together and, getting on. And it just feels lovely because it feels like we can actually do that now. So cool. Yeah. So
yeah,
Facebook's the way that people can get hold of you. I have got some links here that we'll put out.
yeah,
Uh,
it's just I don't spend a lot of time in there, but I try and dive in and out.
yeah,
I've got lindanorthcott.com, which is my little website.
that's
It's not
right.
massive bells and whistles, but it's there. It's got all my details in there.
Yeah,
And also the services that I provide as far as yeah, what's happening here at the minute. And I'm always open to any collaboration. I think that's coming through massively. That really started coming through for me last year, people working together.
yeah, yeah,
I've always thought I had to do everything on my own, and that was part of my survival skills. But now, yeah, no, it's yeah. So I'm always open to all sorts. So yeah, I'm not hard to find. Lynda with a
beautiful.
Y.
Yeah. And I love the collaboration stuff. It's been interesting actually who's actually come out of the woodwork. I just had a young guy say to me today, we're meant to be doing some big things together, and I don't know what that is, but we'll have a talk and see what might be aligning. But yeah, it's nice just to open up to that and see what else, if anything, you know. Hey, because we have done this such a long time on our own.
Yeah.
Really long time. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to think I had to do it all on my own.
Mm,
And had that pressure of, why aren't I doing more? I'm supposed to be this, this, that, and the other, and I'm not doing that. And
yeah.
yeah, that was another battle way back when I
Mm,
had to go through. Yeah.
yeah. And if there was a final message that you wanted to give everyone, Lynda, what might that be?
Oh, golly.
Mm.
Should have prepared myself for that question.
No, I'm just throwing things at you, really.
Just really like everything is simple, isn't it? Really, when you break it all down. So just trust, live in the moment, be totally authentically. You got that unique thumbprint for a reason. Yeah, be true, totally true to you, and trust that you're so supported, and it's just yeah, I think trust is huge. Surrender, faith, trust, love.
Yeah, love. The being true to self, man, that's huge. Like that's really huge. And once again, when you really get that and you do, it's like everything else starts honoring you in it. You know, it's just how it is. But yeah, true to self is really, I think, the top.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you're not
We
supposed to
grow
be
there.
living
It's not easy to do straight away. Exactly that. But yeah, it's good. It's a good journey.
think someone else has got this magic switch.
I know.
And it's
It's
out.
like, oh, I know. It's a bit frustrating in times when you wanted to be up there, up the path somewhere else rather than where you were right there with all the stuff that you had to get through. And oh my goodness, it felt like a bog sometimes, you're stuck in a bog, but it's definitely lightening up and it's so, so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. And when we put you out there, we will be putting your links here that I can see and your website and things so people can
Thank
find
you.
you.
That'd be wonderful. I welcome them with open arms. All good.
Gorgeous. Well, you have a beautiful day for the rest of it. It's very warm here.
Oh, it's cool. It's beautiful blue skies today. We had rain
Oh,
yesterday. So yeah, I'm going to take the dog down the river.
yeah. We've had a great summer, eh? It's been, not that it's over yet, but oh my goodness, I've loved it.
Yeah, we're by the sea too, which is really lucky.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
so we're getting in there. I've got clients this afternoon, but I was thinking, oh, I've got time to hit a bit of bush
Yeah,
before that.
awesome. Oh, awesome.
Thank you,
Beautiful
Randy. It's been a
connecting.
joy.
Oh, no, so thankful. Thank you. And yeah, we'll catch up at another point, no doubt.
It would be beautiful. I would enjoy that.
Me too.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Alrighty. Bye
Bye bye.
bye.